So, for the assessment today, I will be talking about and going through the economic systems and some of the people involved with them. So, let's get started. So, first, let's ask ourselves, what is an economic system? Well, an economic system is the method by which a society uses to produce and distribute goods and services, and it evolved from a response to the problem of scarcity. So, with our economic systems, we have four different economic systems. We have the traditional economy, central planned economy, market economy, and mixed economy. Before we go into the economic systems, there are some three questions that are commonly asked within a system to know where you are going with it. So these three questions are what to produce, how to produce, and whom to produce. This is usually a good or a service. It's also important to know the goals that these services try to meet, which is economic efficiency, freedom, security and predictability, equity, and growth and innovation. And sometimes there's another like environmental protection within that and the economic system. So we are going to move on to our first economic system, which is the traditional economic system. And this system is a system in which traditions, customs, and belief shape the goods and services the economy produces. And some examples of who uses this economic system, are the Inuit people of northern Canada, the Sami people of northern Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. Um, with this system, the big main thing that all of them carry is agriculture and hunting, which are their main service and good. So, I have some pros and cons of this system. So, the pros of the system is that there's little disagreement over goals and roles because everything is really just shaped on how it should be already. And the methods of production distribution are determined by custom, but there are some cons with this system, which is it tends to be less productive because resistance of change, since they're like traditional and usually used with more native people and systems. um, they have their own traditions and way to work, and like to it's not like today where you can change something. They're kind of like want to stay where they are. So there tends to be less productivity because resistance of change. They don't really like to change because they have what they want and that's what they want. They don't use new methods because they don't want to change, and because of this low change, there's low productivity, which means that there is bad living conditions. And in this traditional economy, there is no private property or private ownership, and they make all their decisions themselves, and they don't really have the government have their input. There's not really any proletariat or bourgeois in this. They're just people living. And next, we move on to our centrally planned economy, which is the government makes all decisions about the production and consumption of goods and services such as communism and socialism. So the cons of this type of system is that there's no economic efficiency, freedom, growth, equity, or goals. And a pro is they can manipulate a large amount of resources. An entire society can be conformed to the government's vision. There's a one person that stands out in this, which is Karl Marx, who was a big pusher of communism, and he wanted to end the exploitation of the masses by the few, and he was currently in a capitalist system. It required workers to work in dangerous and harsh conditions. And the goal of communism was to eliminate class systems, so there was no like bourgeois or proletariat, which there were in the capitalist time that he was living in. And in this economic system, there is no private property, and obviously the government has full control of really mostly everything. And now we're going to move on to the market economy. So the market economy is characterized by private ownership, freedom of choice, self-interest, optimized buying and selling platforms, competition, and limited government intervention. Competition drives the market economy as it optimizes efficiency and innovation. So, a good thing about this system is that it allows the free interplay of supply and demand, and it ensures the most desired goods and services are produced. Consumers are willing to pay the highest price for the things they want the most. Businesses will only create those things in return of profit. So, um, another good thing about this is that goods and services are produced in the most efficient way possible, which is one of our goals, and it rewards new innovation. Uh, this market economy has some downsides, which is the key mechanism of a market economy is competition. As a result, it has no system to care for those who are at an inherent competitive disadvantage. And the right of private property is the foundation of the market economy, which means that they are pushing for and want private property, and the government has a limited intervention, so they can't really control much of what goes on in this economy. And a big person um, who believed in this system and was thought to be like the best thinker was Adam Smith, and he believed in class systems and thought it was essential that there was a higher and lower class, like the bourgeoisie and proletariat, and it was like they would. Um, it's just like the higher up people would need to notice and take care of the lower class people, and that luxury goods and items and services were essential to help out these lower class people, which made it go hand in hand and work. And then moving on, with our final system is a mixed economy. So a mixed economy is a system that combines characteristics of market, command, and traditional economy. So it's really a melting pot of the systems. It benefits from the advantages of all three while suffering from few of the disadvantages. It allows the federal government to safeguard its people and its market. The government has a large role in the military, international trade, and national transport. So, more points on the mixed economy is that it combines all the other economies. And so, another thing is that most countries have a mixed economy thanks to globalization. So, a pro in this certain economy is that it distributes goods and services to where they are most needed, and it allows prices to measure supply and demand. Rewards are the most efficient producers, and it encourages innovations like the market economy. And some cons to this one is that if the market has too much freedom, it can leave the less competitive members of society without any government support, and it protects private property. Or not a con, this is going on to private property, is that it protects private property and allows a level of economic freedom, but all but every now and then the government can intervene. It's because it is a mixed economy. It has more like the market economy and the command economy, so like the communist and capitalist aspect both working together, which is kind of what we have here. And a big key believer in this was John Keynes. He believed we should make one world economy, which the whole world could follow and work together. And was working on a plan for that for a while. And he was big on unemployment and trying to get people to like get up and do their job, and just morally trying to engage people, and also trying to make them see the leisure side of life, or how you can work and have a leisure life. Unlike The traditional economy, which doesn't really have much economic goals that they really want to focus on. The centrally planned economy has some goals, such as economic efficiency, where they don't really have much economic freedom. And the market economy, which is like the more capitalist side, has the economic efficiency and economic freedom, and also economic growth and innovation. And then mixed economies, it moving on to our mixed economies, it's like all the economic efficiency from the economies, and then economic freedom to an extent, economic growth and innovation, and economic equity. So those are the four economic systems. As you can tell, not one is just the best or the worst, but each of them go like hand in hand. There's pros and cons about them, and yes, that is all on the economic system.